Side by side, row three, matching scores in symmetry. I held my pitch like grasping thread, but silence bloomed inside instead. The piano started, cue was light. Your lips moved soft, your posture right. But your gaze, it wasn't mine to keep. It traced the senior's brow too deep. You didn't know I noticed this, how your eyes rehearsed a wish. A gaze too full, a breath too still, that cut through chords against my will. I sang beside you, note on note, but you were watching someone float. Each harmony became a wall where I just echoed, barely small. The louder we became as one, the more I knew I was undone. No solo needed for this pain, just layered loss and soft refrain. You followed each downbeat with grace, but never once turned toward my face. I mouthed the words, I held the line, while your attention left the spine. The choir rose, a tidal sound, but I stood still, not feeling ground. And in that ocean of control, my voice became a sinking soul. No one can hear a heart go mute when every measure hides the truth that I was here in name and tone, but never truly. I sang beside you, barely seen, while you admired someone serene. Each lyric looped without a flaw, except the part where I withdraw. You followed pitch, not where I stood, and never noticed if I could. So I just blended with the rest, a background hum inside my chest. I was the note beneath the line, the part you never marked in time. You sang it well, you held it true, but all I heard was not for you. I sang beside you, swallowed whole by harmonies you couldn't hold. Your gaze, your smile, your silent cue were written for a different view. And though our voices made one song, I knew where I did not belong. No key change came, no final bow, just echoes of what wasn't now.
Late bell fades, sky dim low. I held my breath where hallway slows. One hand reached for the rusted frame. A door, a beat, a whispered name. The room was warm, the lights were soft. Then silence cracked like falling frost. He didn't see, not yet, not me. Just stroked her hair so tenderly. No shouting, no reveal. Just soft enough to feel. And in that still I saw the truth, not meant for me, not made for proof. I made no sound, not even sigh. The air turned glass as I passed by. The door stayed open just a touch, but I knew I had seen too much. One hand on hair and none on me. One scene that whispered, let it be. I turned around with silent grace and left no signal, left no trace. The floorboards held their breath for me. No creak, no step, just absentee. My shoes rewound like silent film, heart beating soft against the brim. Was I too early? Was it fate? Or just too blind to see was wide, or how my pulse refused to slide. A story paused before its peak. I walked away too numb to speak. I made no sound, but heard it clear the moment I was not his dear. Some other girl with gentler grace had earned that hand, that sacred space. The room behind me kept its hum while I became a setting sun. No closing click, no slammed goodbye, just footsteps that forgot to cry. Sweat on my neck, wind in my face. After gym class, no time for grace. Tied my hair with trembling hands. Caught his eyes across the stands. He laughed a bit, then said to me, "Wind strong today, unexpectedly." I nodded once, my heart held tight. But then came words that killed the light. Match and always looked so neat. And suddenly I lost my beat. His voice still soft, his tone still kind. But something cracked inside my mind. Smile paused like screen glitch freeze. My laugh got stuck in air breeze. You didn't mean to shift the tone, but now I'm here outflown alone. Wind blew out through tangled thought, while she remained the perfect shot. I shook my hair like shaking blame, but still it whispered just her name. One stray strand and I'm unfit, while her default's a perfect script. You smiled again, just unaware that I was drowning in the air. I tied it up, the loosened thread, but you had praised another head. Maybe it's nothing, just a breeze, but still it brought me to my knees. One compliment, too late miscast, and all my rhythm fell too fast. Smile gone like unplugged light. You warmed the wrong side of my fight. The wind you spoke of tore my grin and left her silhouette within. She floats, she shines, she's framed so tight, while I'm all chaos too polite. You saw my mess, then chose to name perfection framed in someone's name. Cuts when misaligned. One gust can tear what's barely held, and I just smiled while being shelved. Smile reset, system slow, still processing the undertow. She's never here, but always wins in common, sharp as violin. I'm not your storm, I'm not her calm, just static caught in perfect charm. If strong wind means I'm out of frame, then let it blow. I'll take the blame. Shoes, click of frames and morning hues, galley glow, soft paper scent. I walk through memories you spent, each photo froze a second's breath. Old sunlight post in perfect depth, but then your name beneath one pane, and suddenly I lost my lane. There she stood, a backlit thread, hair like mine but not my head. I stared too long, I knew too fast that frozen frame was from your past. Not in the frame, not who you saw. Your lens chose her and I withdrew. A silent chill inside my chest, like film exposed without a rest. I smiled, I clapped, I moved along, but every step on
the shot you Still searching for what you once lined. Was she a friend, a past, a name? Why does this ache still feel the same? The flash was kind, the scene was tame, but I knew then I missed your friend. Didn't mean to twist the thread, but every glance rewound what's dead. The frame said more than lips could send. You loved before and not pretend. Not in the frame, but I still froze. Your art became my silent dose of what you chose, of who you knew. The camera never lies for you. A snapshot made of soft regret, of someone I could not forget. I walked away but left my flame in that one shot that missed my name. Steps echo in the hallway drag. Assemblies over, shoes slightly lag. Left one slipped, the floor too slick. He laughed, bent down, returned it quick. His smile warm like late spring air. My cheeks betrayed me, caught the flare. But then he said it soft and low. Feels like I've seen this scene before. Not to me, I saw it clear. That line belonged to someone near. His words were sweet but carried dust, and history burned beneath the truss. Deja who, I smiled too soon. The warmth was hers, I caught the moon. It wasn't mine, that echo line was just a leftover design. The gesture bloomed, the meaning cracked. I saw her ghost in how he acts, and though he meant no harm, no crime, he borrowed love that wasn't mine. Before I tied my shoe with trembling grace, pretending calm behind the face. His hand still warm, my chest ice thin. Regret logged in beneath my skin. I laughed along just half a beat, but silence traced my incomplete. You never meant to drag the past. Still shadows move when footsteps cast. A slip, a smile, then memories thread unraveled fast. The things unsaid. If kindness echoes someone else, then where do I place my true self? Deja who, I missed the cue while he replayed a deja vu. Some tender scene he used to live. I got the frame but not the give, like actors
characters lost in someone's play. I spoke my lines, then looked away. I knew the script, but not the part. You held my shoe, not quite my heart. You didn't lie, the truth still slipped. A memory leaked through parted lips, and I stood still inside your haze. A stranger cast inside your gaze. Deja who, the truth's in glitch. A kind mistake, a subtle switch. You smiled at me, I smiled back, but knew I'd stepped into a trap. You meant it now, but said it then, and I'm just trying not to bend. Still grateful, yes, still not enough to live inside recycled love. Seen this before, deleted. Clicking pens, the clock ticks slow. Your cough broke through the headphone glow. My gaze slipped sideways, held its breath. You rubbed your neck like fighting death. I almost asked you could but stalled. A question type, but never called. In digital fog, I missed my line. The air glitched once, no second time. Sparrows, heart cute. Just one tap too skewed. But silence doesn't wait or pause. It rewrites all your maybe cause. Lag by one beat, lost the cue. Said the words I meant for you. Her voice rang out like perfect pitch, and I just blinked in static glitch. You smiled at her, polite, not deep, but still it pricked me out of sleep. A second late, a lifetime missed, and all I did was clench a fist.
Say it. No. No. Wait.
She leaned in close, not too much, just loud enough to make me clutch my own regret in folded palms. My voice stayed locked beneath the calm. You nodded once, then coughed again. I traced your shape like phantom pen. Her kindness drawn in neon ink, while mine was lost in thoughts that sink. I swear I moved or meant to try, but meaning means nothing if left dry. I watched the moment float away, filed as almost in dismay. Lagged by one beat, one micro frame. She got the warmth, I stayed the same. Her words went out like perfect line, and I just simmered out of sight. You answered soft, you're just a cold. My envy spiked in colors bold. This isn't war, it's not a fight. Then why my stomach not so tight? I almost cared, is that enough? In whispered tones, the quiet stuff. If kindness needs to come in time, then I just failed in silent mind. Lagged by one beat, one chance delay. She took the lead, I gave away. You're not a prize, and she's no thief. Still I stood still and breathed relief. Someday maybe I'll break the loop, but today I watched my moment droop. All I had was inward shout. She said it first and I missed out.
in the rhythm I knew. Not mad, not mean, just your usual tone. Still it echoed somewhere I'd never shown. Access denied and your half-small code. And yet my system felt overload. You joked, I froze, then queried, boo-boo. By heart I cut the forbidden road. I put sparks racing down his thigh. You lit the fire, it closed the light. Said I was building, it would survive. But just a lie, and yet so long. You know I knew you meant it like just play, but my logic core began to sway. Not yours to hurt, not mine to keep. Still in that fight, you cut too deep. I faked a shrug and typed my grin, but every breath just locked you in. Even silence has a digital trace, and I still see your username on space. Access denied, then yellow lines with a tube of numb bump I felt inside. You are the bar dividing us, but I still linger in your trust. My code says leave, my eyes say stay. Each blink replays that halfway hey. And if I never click restart, at least you touch my secret part. Like melody and dreams away. Don't even know we feel this way. Touch you and touch you touch for fun. Whether it was fun when light is gone. Access denied and yet so long. My thoughts replay beneath the cloud. It feels the gateways with gentle ease, but still I whisper but don't repeat. All these fragments of your line, they'll loop in silence till they shine. One can careless raise a casual block, and yet my world still ticks your clock. Gate slid wide, a breath of day. I stepped into the rush hour gray. The crowd moved forward, I stood still until I saw him on the hill. Not far, not close, just steps ahead, with someone else beside instead. Their uniforms in silent sync, and something in me cracked the link. Her sleeve brushed his a quiet thread, so light it barely could be read. But once you see it, it won't fade. A hint of closeness softly laid. No hand in hand, no touch too clear, but just enough to pull me near to every thought I shouldn't feel, but still collide with heel to heel. I couldn't walk a straight white line, not when their shadows danced on mine. The fabric touched and I lost should fall.My back felt heavy, knees went loose, like every part refused excuse. I tried to pass, I tried to breathe, but tripped on envy underneath. She said his name, he tilted in. That smiley wears that quiet grin, the kind I've watched but never caught. And suddenly I lost my thought. They didn't talk in movie scripts, just subway plans and weekend tips. But still that almost touch remained, like coffee on a shirt unclaimed. I looked away then back again, just in case I was wrong. But then the gap stayed close, the line stayed blurred, and I unlearned each walking word. I couldn't walk a straight white line, not when their shadows danced on mine. The fabric touched and I lost pace, my steps all slipped out into space. A brush of cloth, not lips, not vowels. Still it screamed and still it roused. They didn't see, they didn't stall, but I forgot how steps should fall. Had one small gust of wind to break their path and drift him in. Would that be wrong? Would I be weak for wanting just one static streak? But winds don't come when silence clings, and I'm not part of their soft strings. So I just curve around their line and leave my wish at exit 9. I couldn't walk a straight white line, not when their shadows danced on mine. Fabric touched and I lost pace, my steps all slipped out into space. A brush of cloth, not lips, not vowels, but still it screamed and still it roused. They didn't see, they didn't stall, but I forgot how steps should fall. Stitched where I can't be. Though it's small and though it's light, it pulled my world off course that night. Gently on my desk, a pastel blue just slightly fresh. The zipper gold, the corners neat, a find from last week's secret street. I saw him glance then tilt his head, that's cute, he smiled and my cheeks bled. The world stood still, a hush, a ring. I almost thought it meant something, but then he said like passing wind, my little sister has that pinned, the same exact one, brand and all. And just like that I felt the fall, my heart deflated with a puff, like bubble wrap, that's not enough. It wasn't mean, it wasn't cold, but suddenly I felt too old. I was a moment, then a match, a special turn to come and batch. He smiled then filed me in a bin of things my sister's also in. I wore that case like ribbon pride, but now it hides my feelings slide. Limited edition, guess not true, I'm one of many shades of blue. acted slow, the charm still swayed, but all the shimmer looked replayed. The stars I stitched, the pen I chose now felt like props in second shows. He wasn't rude, he meant no break, but some words bruised like silent quake. I bit my lip, looked straight ahead, while my new favorite gift turned red. She must be cute, his sister's nice. She probably picked it once, not twice. He laughed a bit, then called her name, while I just sank into my frame. It's not his fault, I told my chest, but told it thrice and hoped for less, because the praise I thought was mine now shared a line, lost its design. I was a moment, then a match, a special turn it common batch. He smiled, then filed me in a bit of think sisters also in. I wore the case like ribbon pride, but now it hides her feelings. Slide limited edition, guess not true. I'm one of many shades of blue. I want to be the kind you spot, say no one else has what she's got. Not something sweet, but shelf appealed. Not something safe, not pre-revealed. But maybe next time I'll just draw my name across it, bold with flaws. So even if he thinks it's shared, at least he knows I'm self-declared. I was a moment, then I met a special turn to common batch. He smiled, then filed me in a bit of things my sister's also in. I wore the case like ribbon pride, but now it hides her feelings. Slide limited edition, guess not true. I'm one of many shades of blue. So zip it closed and hide the pen. I'll pick a different case again, one that says I'm not compare, and dares him not to even dare. The hallway glowed an amber tone. I clutched my bag, walked half alone. I saw him there just near the door, and mustered words I'd said before. A quiet breath, a smile said wide, a simple morning, soft with pride. He nodded once, a barely sound, just and that didn't lift the ground. Bright, he caught her eyes and smiled in light. His voice full formed, his posture tall, like greeting her completed all. She laughed, he asked about her day, while I just watched the scene replay. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't mean, but kind by choices sharp and keen. Selective sunshine, that's his style, a warmth assigned in measured dial. He's kind but not to everyone, just those who shine when he is done. I got a glance, she got the beam, I got the gray between his gleam. It's not unfair, it's not a crime, but soft and stings more every time. I tucked my voice back in my chest, pretended I had meant no test. The floorboards echoed down the hall while he stood laughing kind and tall. She brushed his sleeve, he didn't mind their easy flow, their perfect kind, while I just faded, breath held tight, a shadow in fluorescent light. He's not the type to lie or tease, but still he chooses who to please, and I'm placed in that soft gap where silence pats you on the back. Not hated, no, just not quite real, not close enough to make him feel. And all I said was good morning, but he replied like I was warning. Selective sunshine, that's a style, a warmth assigned in measured dial. He's kind but not to everyone, just those who shine when he is done. I got a glance, she got the beam, I got the gray between his gleam. It's not unfair, it's not a crime, but soft and stings more every time. Maybe next time I'll skip the word, leave mourning cage remain unheard. Let silence guard what smile can't win, and shield my heart from scratch and grin. But even then I know too well, I'll still replay how his tone fell. One letter long and somehow sharp, a whisper dressed to tear apart. Selective sunshine, that's a style, a warmth assigned in measured dial. He's kind but not to everyone, just those who shine when he is done. I got a glance, she got the beam, I got the gray between his gleam. It's not unfair, it's not a crime, but soft and stings more every time. So smile for her and pass by me, let greetings weigh selectively. Your kindness isn't wrong or fake, it's just too sharp for hearts to take. a bit tired. You said it soft like care inspired, and in that moment time stood still. A fragile hope began to fill. My smile bloomed too fast, too wide. The world bent gently to my side, but then you spoke without a mask and tore the frame with one small act. You've been so focused like you should. It's nice not worrying if I could distract you or slow you down. And there the warmth began to drown. Thanks for not noticing that I tried to shine. You saw me drift and called it fine. You praised the space I didn't fill, like absence was my greatest skill. You saw my stillness, not my storm, and labeled it as calm, not torn. Your care was real, but off the track. You missed the part I wanted back. I thought that maybe you had seen the way I folded in between the group, the noise, the endless blur. But no, what reached you wasn't her. You liked the me who didn't cling, the quiet shell, the clipped off wing. But all the times I stayed polite were loud with things I didn't write. You meant it kind and I know that, but kindness stings when served too flat. Your truth the clean but sharp and small, and it unstitched me after all. Thanks for not noticing that I dimmed the flame, so you could never feel the blame. You thought my silence helped you breathe, but it was me who had to leave. I smiled because you finally saw, then broke when I heard the flaw. You cared for who you thought I'd be, not for the side that needed me. You didn't mean to dim the light, but praise can bruise when framed too tight. I wanted you to see the ache, instead you cheered my quiet break. Thanks for not noticing how I disappeared. You watched the quiet and called it clear. You thought I'd grown, you thought I'd flown, but I was just too tired alone. I waved without raising a hand. You smiled, not trying to understand. And now I know why you adored the me who never asked for more. Glad you're doing fine without me. Lunch bell rang, I stayed down low. Desk against cheek, the world in slow. Chatter dripped like distant rain, but I was drowning under strain. No appetite, no place to flee, just folded arms and absentee. Then through the blur, a spark cut through. Your laugh too bright, too far, too true. You laughed like summer never lights invisibly. You laughed, it's fine, don't pull it back. But I just cracked where I lost track. Out of range, I'm tuned too low to reach the warmth you didn't know. You live in major, I in rest. A skip line in a song request. So laugh again, don't change a beat. I'll cover ears and stay discreet. The room's not wrong, the light's not dim. I'm just not built to sing with him. Laughing again. Not today. Desk to desk, one step behind. I reach with hope, half underlined. Forgot my book, but not the plan. To ask him first, just take a stand. But there he was, already two. Their heads bowed low, no space for you. I pause mid-step, then and smile tight. A seat away out of the light. He turned too late and caught my eye. That look that says I didn't try. Then came the line that hit the page. Next time, okay to disengage. Next time, like it's guaranteed. But I saw everything I'd need. The space was filled, the choice was made. And I just watched my presence fade. I smiled and nodded, played along. But silence has a volume strong. You said to ask, but not today. And I felt next time drift away. places, things. I walked alone through festival glow. Each light too bright, each pace too slow. Check my phone, not once but 10. Each buzz a ghost, not you again. You meant no harm, I know that well, but echoes don't make wishes dwell. You left like wind between the tents, while I just stayed and made no sense. The laughter blurred, the music bent, and I just lost the moment sent. Later never came, though I held on to words that sounded like a song. A passing spark, a fading name. Now every maybe burns the same. You vanished soft in summer's beat, while I kept standing in the heat. I watched the sky begin to dim, still waiting for a you from him. You never knew you made me stay. You never meant to fade that away. But some words bloom and never land, and some hands reach without a hand. Later never came, and maybe that's the truth that hides behind soft laughs. You said it once and walked ahead and left me dancing with the dead. The music played, the lights were there, but I kept searching for you there. And though the night was filled with flame, you left and never said my name. Later, not tonight. Spotlight moment, final slide. Applause broke out from every side. I bowed a little, not too proud, just warm enough to match the crowd. He stood beside the same soft grin, the one he wears when things begin. But though he smiled, though eyes were bright, his hand stayed still. Not wrong, not right. The room was full of ringing praise, but I just counted silent days between his breath and where I stood, where claps should be, where claps once could. Silent hands in oceans loud. I shined but couldn't feel the crowd. His stillness wrapped around my name, like praise that never really came. The world lit up, but not his palms. He watched me win with quiet calm, and I, the star, just blinked too fast. A moment framed to never last. I played it off, returned the praise, but inside cracked a minor phrase. His clap was not a major need, but now it grew like phantom seed. The teacher smiled, my name was said, and yet his silence filled my head. 1 second long, but still restraint was louder than 1,000 saints. He smiled, he stood, he did no wrong, but every pause became too long. A missing sound, a tiny sting that silence leaves when no hands sing. Silent hands, they echoed loud in places praise should wrap like shroud. You cheer with eyes but not with skin, and I was out while feeling in. A single beat, a missing cue, a round of praise just not from you. You gave me light but not the sound, and now I orbit silent ground. One pair of hands, that's all I craved, among a sea that kindly waved. You didn't know what you erased, just left one space unlit, unpraised. Silent hands, and now I hear what disappears when you're too near. A room that roars, a heart that dips, because your praise stayed on your lips. I smiled it off, I played my part, but kept that absence in didn't clap, you didn't mean, but silence speaks in spaces seen. The paper stared, the charcoal bled. My finger shaped a silent thread. A face emerged from cautious strokes. Each line of thought, nobody spoke. The teacher clapped, their voice was proud. My canvas praised in front of crowd. And then he passed, a glance, a breath, looks good. He said like love to death. He didn't stop, just kept his pace. No second look, no longer gaze. Just three small words, then turned around to where her sketch was safe and sound. He leaned in close, his hands in air, explaining shadows, jawlines flare. They laughed, compared, their heads aligned while I erased myself inside. 3 minutes for her, 3 words for me. A masterpiece he didn't see. He praised her clouds, her shading bold, while mine went quiet, still and cold. He gave her time, gave her a spark. I got a phrase, then faded dark. It wasn't hate, just apathy, but that still burned much worse in me. My pencil paused, my heart kept still. The way he smiled just bent my will. She tilted back, the laughter rose, while I redrew a crooked nose. He traced her sky with thoughtful tone, while I sat working all alone. My art was clean, my lines refined, but none of it could cross his mind. He pointed out the way she drew, a dress in green, a shade of blue. He asked her why she chose that face, and watched her answer full of grace. No one had asked what mine portrayed, or why I used that light and shade. I nodded once, pretended fine, while shrinking down inside the line. 3 minutes for 3 words for me. A masterpiece he didn't see. He praised her clouds, her shading bold, while mine went quiet, still and cold. He gave her time, gave her a spark. I got a phrase, then faded dark. It wasn't hate, just apathy, but that still burned much worse in me. Maybe I drew too close to truth, too sharp, too quiet, too uncouth. Maybe my canvas didn't beg for conversation, charm, or leg. But even artists want to feel. Their work is more than trained to appeal. So next time I'll just draw the air. At least it won't pretend to care. 3 minutes for her, 3 words for me. A masterpiece he didn't see. He praised her clouds, her shading bold, while mine went quiet, still and cold. He gave her time, gave her a spark. I got a phrase, then faded dark. It wasn't hate, just apathy, but that still burned much worse in me. So I erased the lines he missed and fold them in a phantom fist. He liked her scene, her colored sea, while I drew what he'll never be. One blue dot, still not 2. Screen still stuck at center view. Typed and sent at 4:09. Now it's past the end of time. I told myself he's just asleep, but sleep don't last a silence this deep. 'Cause in the chat with everyone, he laughed, replied, and typed for fun. I saw his name light up the feed, but never mind, not one read. The air grew cold around my grip, a touch away, but still I slept. That most should none, still not mine, but he's alive in every line. He jokes, he plans, he laughs out loud, but skips the message where I drowned. I watch the chat like blinking glass, each second colder as they pass. You ghosted me with smiling text and group replies, you just deflect. being kind, then why is it screaming in my mind? Just check the box, just let me freeze. Instead you tap and joke with ease. Red receipt none, still I wait like echoes bouncing off your gate. You logged in twice and left in three, but never once acknowledged me. And I don't need a full reply, just want to know I didn't die inside your scroll beneath your thumb. Where I went mute, where you went numb. You don't owe me anything, but silence echoes everything. One red would break the ice I breathe. Instead, I watch you type and leave. Seat none, still too loud. Your quiet says you're not allowed to face the line I dare to send, to mark me more than just a friend. So here I wait, the text still sent, my words now part of your descent. You talk to them and skip my